Hi everyone, we are back with another workout. This time I'm gonna do a 20-minute workout that's based on body weight exercises, so no equipment needed. It's brilliant for people who work long hours sitting down at the desk, and all the exercises can be done in one room with no equipment. Maybe a mat would be helpful, or use a carpet, because I'm going to be doing some floor exercises, so make sure it's comfortable. The leg swing is the first thing we do, and it's a great warm-up for your hips as well. It's great before going for a run. These muscles, especially close to the knees, they get quite tight from sitting down all day, and you want to avoid pulling a muscle. So start with jogging on the spot for 20 seconds. We're gonna do some cardio at the beginning. This is all for about 20 seconds each. You can obviously go as fast and as hard as you want. It's your workout. So lift your knees a little bit higher and try to land on the balls of your foot and not on your heel. And then shortly after running on the spot with your knees high, we're gonna be doing butt kickers, where we're gonna use the hamstrings a little bit more to bring your feet up to your hips in a dynamic way, and carry on for about 10 seconds with these. Good stuff. Next one, we're gonna switch into star jumps, and make sure you try and extend your arms a little bit more than I did on the video. Although the ceiling, I'm not sure if you can see it, it's quite low, so that's the reason why I didn't extend my elbows. But you want to be able to move the shoulder through its full range of motion, and that way you get a nice warm up. And then we move on to the last cardio, which is mountain climbers, again for about 15 to 20 seconds. As you can see, I'm not putting my foot down in the middle of the movement. At any point, only one foot is in contact with the floor, so you're maintaining a good press up position, and there's no rotation in this movement, so try to keep your knees going in a straight line. Okay, next one is gonna be a glute bridge, and hold each one for 5 seconds. Try to lift your back nice and slow off the floor, almost like as if you were trying to peel your back off the floor, lifting your back vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting starting from tailbone and then up. The top squeeze, but try not to arch your lower back, and as you can see in the top position, my heel is directly under my knee, and I have sort of a 90-degree angle at the knees, and with that you can avoid stressing the hamstrings or the quads too much. It should be mainly the glutes that are doing the work. So we want to fire up that muscle, just as we are going to try to fire up and work the obliques quite a lot in this little workout, because these two muscles get quite neglected in modern life. So as we sit down, we stretch the glutes, and nothing really makes us work the obliques much, unless you're doing sports that involve rotation. So first here we do a lower ab exercise, again just to warm up the core. Try to avoid arching your lower back. If you feel that you can't keep your lower back close to the floor, you can alternate left and right leg, and then we're going to move into a kneeling side plank You want to make it nice and easy, so bend your knees. We're going to be doing another plank, side plank, later in the session, so where I encourage people to do a full plank, but this time hold a half plank. Make sure your elbows directly under your shoulders, and try to bring that top shoulder back into line with the shoulder at the bottom, so you're holding a nice position with your back straight, hips forward. Cool. So yeah, make sure you don't drop your hips or you don't drop your head, and also avoid rotating back and forth. You want to keep a good alignment all the way through. Good. We are moving into squats. For this kind of squats, you can use any weight that you want, holding it right in front of you, just as I'm holding my hands together. So you could hold a kettlebell, you could hold a dumbbell, you could hold 2 dumbbells, or maybe even a rucksack or a backpack filled with something heavy like clothes or books, and literally hugging the bag as you're going through the exercise. Make sure you're pushing your hips back, keep your feet flat on the floor. Very good, knees out nice and wide. Try to lift your chest up as you're going down. Again, if you have a mirror that you can use for checking your posture, always check for a good alignment in the back. So next one is kneeling press-ups. Again, you can go into full press-up if you want to, but you want to be able to bring your chest all the way down to the floor, and the hands should be wider than shoulder widths apart, and also in the same line as your lower part of your chest is. So after about 15 to 20 reps, you're gonna go back to squats. Again, if you need a little break, you can take a break, but try to keep your heart rate elevated. Breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way up. Try to push your hand back into your head back into your hands, and also squeeze the shoulder blades so you can keep your elbows as far back as possible. Again, we're going for 15 to 20 reps. You can, depending on how fast you're going through the movement, try to breathe in on the way down and breathe out on the way up. And then we are back for another push. So we're doing a full press up this time. Full press ups are, as far as technique goes, it's the same as the kneeling press ups. Hands wider than shoulder widths apart, and try to keep your back in a neutral, sort of natural alignment. If you feel that you're arching your lower back, you can always go back into kneeling press ups. And then next one, I'm trying to replicate a movement that's similar to deadlifts, where you're bending forward and lifting your upper body back into position. And again, the aim here is to work your back, glutes and hamstrings. So try to extend your arms and keep your arms straight. This is quite challenging after the press-ups, so you may feel the burn in the shoulders. Try to again bring your elbows back. If you want to make it easier, you can bend your elbows, and then of course the idea is to go as low as you can, but again, if you're using a mirror, you can double check what's going on with your lower back, so you don't really want to arch or hunch your back as you're going forward. Okay, next one is side to side lower body rotation. This is a fantastic exercise for working your obliques and mobilizing your back. If you have any disc issues, then don't do this exercise, you may want to go back to the kneeling side plank. If you don't have lower back problems or disc problems, you can try this exercise and avoid going all the way down to the floor too quickly. So try to have control as you're going down. Breathe in, and as you're coming back up, breathe out. If you want to make it easier, you can lower your feet, or you can, by lifting your feet higher, you can make it a lot more difficult. Whatever you do, you want to be able to keep your shoulder blades on the floor. 8 on each side, and we're going into a movement that challenges your balance, and again is to mobilize the back and sort of do a complex movement that works multiple muscles. Again, after a long day of sitting, the back may feel quite stiff, so it's good to do exercises that make you move through various movements that otherwise you wouldn't do. So with the back lunge, you're taking a step back, bending both knees at the same time, keeping your back straight. Breathe out as you crunch, and breathe in as you extend your back and go into a lunge. Next one is another floor exercise. You're going into prone cobra or skydiver. You're gonna breathe in, squeeze, and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. As you lift your shoulders, you're gonna roll your arms, rotate your arms away from your body, your palms facing away from your body, thumbs up. As you lift up, try to tuck your chin in. You can lift your feet, you don't have to, but if it's happening, that's totally fine. Again, here we're working the muscles between the shoulder blades and the muscles along the spine, the glutes, the hamstrings, and we're also working the neck, so it's important to tuck your chin in so that you don't strain your muscle in a shortened position. Yeah, this is a fantastic exercise for people sitting at a desk, and it's really important to strengthen the muscles that are, again, elongated all day as you sit down. Now we're doing a full side plank. Again, you can go into a kneeling side plank if that's easier, and you can actually do it with a good technique. If you're doing a full plank, you don't have to have your feet on top of each other, so you can have them in a split stance if it's more comfortable and it's easier to balance, as long as you can keep your back in a good alignment and you're not rotating to the front or to the back. So keep your shoulder blades together, chest out, hips forward, and after 20 seconds you can stand up and go into the next leg exercise, which is going to be split squats. So split squats are done in a much wider stance than a normal squat, but you want to avoid going too wide, so you kind of test it out first, because if your inner thighs are tight, it's easy to pull them. And what you want to do is keep one leg straight at all times. As you're moving left to right, you're only bending one knee at a time and you're pushing your hips back. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Try to avoid moving your feet too much or have your feet point out too far to the side. And again, just like with a normal squat, you want to keep your back straight. If you want to make it harder, you can hold something like a kettlebell, or again use a rucksack or something heavy that you can hold right in front of you, to make the exercise a little bit more challenging. We're gonna go into close hand press ups, and I'm happy for you to do a full press up when you're doing close hand press ups, as long as you can bring your chest to the floor and keep your back fairly straight in a neutral position. With this, you wanna, when your hands are close, you wanna keep your elbows really close to your body as well. And breathe in the way down, breathe out on the way up. And the next exercise, which is the last exercise actually, you're going into a one leg forward bend or deadlift, where your upper body weight is going to be again the weight that you're lifting, but now you're doing the whole movement with one leg at a time. So stick to the same side and try to avoid lifting the leg too high, because the aim here is not to lift your leg as high as possible. It's to do that and bend forward at the same time as you're bringing your upper body forward. So again, you don't want to hunch your back, you don't want to rotate out to the side, you want to keep everything in the same alignment as you did when you did the prone cobra or the skydiver. And after 10 repetitions on each side, you can take a little break and move into the stretches. So the first stretch we're going to do is a child pose. In this one, you want to make sure you sit back all the way, bum touching the heels if possible. This way you can stretch your groin, if you open the knees, you're stretching your hips, you're stretching your quads, and you're stretching your back and arms as well. So it's a really good stretch. And then we're going to do the opposite, so we're going to stretch the front. Try to move your hands forward, just like I did, so you don't start with your hands under the shoulders, because you want to be able to keep your hips on the floor. So as you breathe in, you look up, lift your chin, make sure your mouth is closed. As you look up towards the ceiling, breathe in and look up, stretch, and you're going to feel the stretch running down all the way from the top of the abs, from your ribs all the way down to your hips. And breathe in, hold it for a little bit, and breathe out on the way down. Okay, next one. We're doing an oblique stretch. Again, sit down, make sure your hips are close to your heels, and keep your hand flat on the floor as you stretch over to that side, extending your arm, and then we're moving into a hip stretch called 90-90 stretch. This is to stretch your glutes, your piriformis, and again, it's called 90-90 because you want to keep your knees at 90-degree angles, but also you want to keep that 90-degree angle at your hips as well. Alternatively, you can do this stretch and trying to get your chest close to your knee without hunching your back too much. Again, if you have a mirror, you can see whether you are doing that or not. And then the other side. Take your time with this stretch because this muscle or these muscles can get really tight from sitting down, and this is a good one to loosen up the hips, especially after exercise. And then we've got two more stretches for you. One of them is a quad stretch, and this is quite a common stretch here, so you probably know this and you've done this before. Keep your knees close together, push your hips forward by squeezing your glutes, try to hold your foot close to your ankle, so you can pull your heel right into your hips and stand up straight, chest up, shoulder back, both sides. Hold it for at least 40 seconds and pull your heel again as high as you can. And then we got a last stretch for you, which is a hamstring stretch. This is another common stretch that you will know. You're going to lean forward, slightly bend your knees, and you will feel the stretch in the back of your thighs. Again, hold this for 40 seconds each side. Well done today. If you need any help with your own workouts and you want a more specific personalized plan, get in touch on 079515 77372. Stay safe, keep fit, see you soon.